PLC today is on science and literature and basically closing the gap for our students and making sure that they're getting what they need from the literature and with the science. So putting the two together, which we already do that, but we're supposed to basically brainstorm on ways we can do that more effectively and different online tools we can use to help us with that. Okay? So we have to develop an action plan on how we're going to do that. An action plan on how we're going to develop or how we're going to help our students get there to be more effective with the literature and the science piece together. Okay? So any ideas you have, you can just kind of throw out.
What do we want to think first about specific science skills or certain literacy skills we're targeting, or are we looking in general?
Well, just kind of in general right now, not focusing on anything so specific, just overall.
Because I know you're using the Science A to Z guided reading as a way to incorporate like Namibia and context clues and things like that.
Right.
And then
So,
you have the videos and everything in place also for the Science A to Z.
right. So those are some of our online tools we can use, which was Science A to Z, Digital ReadWorks, and the Science, well, this is not digital, but it could be because they are online. The Science Spin Scholastic. We don't get it in the
We don't do it every time, but
paper form, but you can use it online still.
the science spin,
Mm-hmm.
we do it in paper form.
Yeah.
It's actually
Not every single time.
I just got one like
It
the other
doesn't,
day, but
it just comes periodically.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not every single time.
Right.
I've gotten like 5 this year.
so how do you guys feel about those online tools?
And then you also have Discovery Education,
Yes.
where you could, there are videos where you could create assignments for your kids, where they have to watch certain videos, or read certain articles on it, and then have them like respond online too, and stuff like that.
And that's called Discovery Education? And they respond
But United
online?
Streaming.
Yeah,
Oh, United Streaming, okay.
You can pick videos or articles for them to read, and
Does NC Ready, I see on the book that it has a code, an online code. Does it provide anything for extra with it, the NC Ready science books? Like on the book itself, it says the online code. I haven't gone on there yet.
No, I did, it's just the book. It's just the book, and then it has a place where you can actually write notes. With it has like the marker or highlight, and then you can print, but as far
Now,
as.
in that book, it has articles, passages, right?
Right.
And then the questions that come along with it, which is more so what we're trying to improve, I guess, in our test scores, because the science EOG does have more of that now, right?
Yes.
None of my kids did integrated writing into science when we did the water cycle narrative, and they had to
Okay.
take their journey through the water cycle.
Are there any issues that we see with diversity in our students and their science and reading scores?
No.
And that can be anything. You know, you have your EC crew that of course that's where the gap is, the EC and the AIG, which is
I
why
didn't
we're a
struggle.
focus school, but.
I think the struggle a lot of times is this the first time they're tested in science.
Right.
So it's not something they look at as like an actual EOG. I think it's just like, and with the science, it's a matter of reading the question and answering it. So
And
a lot of times
because
they'll just go so fast.
And because it's online, they don't take the time necessarily to think about it because they just.
Click, 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 click. I mean, they'll finish a 60
The EOG
question.
is online too, right?
They'll finish a 60 question science test in like 30 minutes, not even a minute a question to think it, time to think about it.
Right.
But as for reading, you have to go back in the passage and look for the answers, and that gets worked out.
I do feel like that the EC children that qualify for modifications in reading are at an advantage because it is read aloud to them on their benchmarks, on their, you know, all of their tests. But if they don't qualify for reading, then the ELL or the whatever are at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as diversity is concerned.
So if they get accommodations in reading, it applies to science as well.
But I do think the problem is that now that it's online, they are in control of it, so they are clicking on it instead of a teacher they're reading every question, so a lot of
So the
mine aren't
computer reads
using,
it to them.
a lot of mine aren't utilizing that opportunity to get that read
They
aloud.
have to actually click it.
And so it's getting read to them instead of them having to wait for the teacher to go to the next question and then making sure it gets read.
I think it's different if it's read aloud upon request. Does the computer still read it to them?
I think it has
to,
It's read aloud upon request, and I think it's also, because I know that
Read aloud all?
Yeah, if it's on the computer, not if it's on paper.
it's still,
It's
but
still read.
the kids still, I think, have to click on it. Because I know that Cheryl said it was gonna take away having to have that many people, or having her read aloud the whole thing to them.
I don't think they've done it yet. I think this year is gonna be the first year.
The benchmark, I know, I think the next benchmark is supposed to be where they're able to read aloud the winter benchmark. They'll be able to read it to themselves or click it.
So how do we see, what can we do to improve their scores? Short term, midterm, long term? And of course, we're getting to the end of this year, so we're kind of looking towards next year as well. What can we do differently, or what can we improve on?
To integrate the reading and the science?
I think it's a matter of it going back, just not in fifth grade, and it going back into the grades before fifth grade.
Right, absolutely.
And science being as much of a priority as everything else. And I know it's hard, because it's hard for us to make social studies, a huge priority and having to integrate. But, if it's gonna be something that's tested and something that we're, focusing on, it needs to be a priority in not just fifth grade, but in K-4 as well.
I feel like that overall in fifth grade, we've done an excellent job using our guided reading to use our nonfiction text
Right.
as being science and using that to drive our reading instruction. What we can improve on perhaps is putting the online versions into it by using Google Classroom or Discovery Education and expanding it and maybe making that one of our rotations or our must-dos and implementing those online tools.
Now, I've never used Google Classrooms. You guys use that for them to respond, right? Is that it?
That's all I've used it for so far.
Is there other things that it does?
I can post, if there's like a website I want them to look at, or when we're going to do informational pieces, I'll do some like research, and if there are articles I only want them to go to, they'll have to read the articles, and then they can do that. And also, right now in science, they're taking an ecosystem. They all have, one person shared it with the other group, so everyone has the same document, be on the same document at the same time, and type and work on it at the same time. So that's something nice about it too, is if we're all working on the same document, we can see what Chin's typing, I can see what they are typing on the same thing.
Okay.
And I think that would just be a matter of just pairing up our reading nonfiction standards with science, which would be hard to do if you're comparing contrasting or, whatever objectives.
I feel like we do a really good job of integrating a lot of literature into science and integrating science in the reading block and the reading instruction.
Say this, as an intern and seeing lots of classrooms in the last year and a half, I will say that this is probably one of the most successful schools that I've been in to see the different integration throughout the subjects. And I do see a lot more support in the reading and science when you integrate those two. And I feel like the students have a better grasp on it.
Right. I know it's changed a lot since I left before. It wasn't this much science into reading, because science teacher didn't teach reading.
Now, when Marie did
Which makes
science
perfect
and reading
sense
that one
now.
year, she did a
Right.
great job of integrating that science and reading together, because I wish we could get back.
Yeah. I think it just makes a big difference on the whole setup of the school. Like before, you couldn't do it, because you didn't teach that. You taught science, you taught math, or whatever, but they didn't connect